Hello, my name is Dee Williamson, and today, as part of a NUR 511 theory class, I'm going to be sharing some thoughts on Dr. Gene Watson's theory of caring. We're going to be looking at that theory aided by the social learning theory. Now, the grand theories serve as a framework of practice. It's not a skill that can be taught and tested. Caring is a moral idea, and teaching the concept using social learning theory is one way to present the material. The social learning theory by Albert Bandura provides an explanation of how people learn through the influence of their environment, observing, imitating, and modeling of ideal behaviors, as well as vicarious learning, or simply learning by listening and watching others. This learning may be ingrained, but not put into practice until later. As nurses progress in their personal practice, they may draw upon different grand theories learned about or observed. Before we delve into her theory, let's examine Dr. Watson's background. She was born in 1940 as the youngest of 8 children. And as the youngest, I'm sure she experienced quite a lot of caring from quite a lot of people. She earned her RN diploma in 1961. And after marrying and moving to Colorado, she achieved her bachelor's, her master's in psychiatric mental health nursing, and a PhD in educational psychology and counseling from the University of Colorado Boulder, doing this all within an 11-year span. She is the author and co-author of 30 books on caring, and in 2013 she was inducted as a living legend by the American Academy of Nursing. Dr. Watson is still with us today and still gives lectures on her theory. Dr. Watson first developed her caring theory in 1979. And to understand some of the major elements of her theory, it's important to understand her language, or the meaning behind the word curative. Dr. Watson chose this word, and it's derived from a Greek word, keratos, meaning to cherish and give special loving attention. The following slides will expand on the 10 curative factors, as well as the other 2 major elements of her theory, those being transpersonal caring relationship and the caring occasion or caring moment. So listed here are the 10 curative factors. Another way to look at those elements are that the 10 factors are what the nurse does. And then going on, the transpersonal caring is how the nurse behaves and goes about these processes. So on this slide are the 10 original curative factors that Gene Watson proposed. Her most recent writings expand these factors to include greater spiritual dimension. The newer definitions also include the factors' impact on both the caregiver and the cared for. And as you read through these 10 curative factors, the ones that I would pull out with most emphasis are the transpersonal teaching and learning, being supportive, and also, again, the spiritual forces, the existential and the phenomenon. The transpersonal caring relationship is the second element of Watson's theory that we're going to look at. Again, this is the how of the theory. For Watson, transpersonal means to go outside of oneself and to strive for deep spiritual connection with the patient. And that promotes caring and healing. The nurse, reaching that vulnerable state, must strive for an authentic presence. My interpretation of that is to be present in the moment with the patient and not focused on pending tasks. Establishing this relationship with the patient is a moral commitment to protect and enhance the human dignity of the patient. In this relationship, the caregiver and the cared for connect in a mutual search for meaning and wholeness. That was described by Kara. So this brings us to the third major element of the caring theory, the caring occasion or the caring moment. They are heart-centered encounters, a sharing of human experience, and a connection at a spiritual level deeper than physical interaction. While I was reading this material, I was reminded of a patient encounter from nursing school. I was assigned a patient who had newly received a colostomy. I needed to change her colostomy bag and to change her linen. It was my first time to change her bag, and I tried very hard to make it seem like I was an expert and not affected by the task. When it was time to change her over to the chair to remove her linens, I said to her, "Okay, now stand up, hold on to me tight, give me a big bear hug." What I was really meaning was, I don't want you to fall. But what it became was a caring moment. She hugged me so tight. I realized that because of her altered body image, she was happy to have the physical contact and the spiritual boost from a hug. I honestly needed the hug that day too. Now, moving on to the meat and potatoes of the theory, we learn that the caring theory is both inductive and deductive, as outlined in our text. Looking that up to break it down a little bit more, the deductive theories work from general to specific. And Watson developed the theory because a greater focus on caring was needed. In a moment, we will look at the theory's application in education. And it's in that application that we will better understand the difference in caring and curing that drive the caring theory. Now, the inductive theories go from specific to general. And in her theory, she outlines the base of nursing and recognizes that nursing is a profession with unique values, practice, and ethics. So now we come to examine the impact of the theory on education. Teaching caring. As previously mentioned, caring is a moral ideal. It should be taught and observed and modeled. Caring will not appear on a skills checkoff, but it is a necessary skill to possess. Watson developed the theory to balance curative and curative. The curative influence of Medicina on nursing to that point was that nursing was more skill and task-oriented, while curative is what Watson wanted to focus on and is equally important. Including caring theory in nursing education exposes students to the balance between caring and curing necessary in a holistic practice. The impact of the theory on research can go beyond just nursing research. Because the model follows the same steps as the scientific research model, those being assessment, observation, identification of a problem, and hypothesis development. The caring theory is broad enough to be used in many fields and can be seen as a basis for research as outlined in our text. So in the end, we all want to promote safe and quality care. And evaluating the grand theory of Watson, we can see that the theory does provide that. It is the field of nursing where the theory thrives. Foster stated that the theory brings a sense of connection and compassion to nursing. Without it, nursing is reduced to tasks, devoid of personal satisfaction nurses, expected to find in nursing. Nurses who utilize the caring theory promote safe and quality care. I have here listed some of the positive outcomes for both patient and nurse as presented by Foster. You can see that there is a commonality between the two. And this further proves that both the caregiver and the care for the application of this theory is beneficial. Please feel free to review the references for a greater explanation of Gene Watson's nursing theory. Thank you for your time and attention. I believe that Gene Watson's theory is one that I will carry further into my nursing practice.